Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Friday, October 7th, 2022. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Hey, with the boat shows in town this week and next, I feel I need to pull out my gentle warning that I use for commissioning week. We have a lot of visitors in town, and many may not be familiar with the city. Have patience and be nice. In a week and a half, things will be back to normal. But now we do need to talk about the news for Friday and kick off the weekend. So let's get into it, shall we? A 78-year-old Lothian man was killed in a crash late Wednesday in South County. Ronald Talbert was driving a Honda Civic and was attempting to cross Southern Maryland Boulevard at Lower Pindell Road. As he crossed, he was struck by a Ford F-550 truck. The driver of the truck was uninjured, and the Anne Arundel County Police are trying to piece together what exactly happened. Yesterday, Stephen Davis of Pasadena pleaded guilty to the murder of his 5-year-old half-sister back in October of 2020. He has claimed that he was not criminally responsible, which is Maryland's version of an insanity plea. The trial will determine if he goes to prison or to a hospital. Now, police were called to his home for a car that the then 17-year-old had taken without permission. While police were there on site investigating that, they did discover the 5-year-old, Anaya Abdul, dead in her bed. The car was ultimately tracked to Ohio, and state troopers there made the arrest and extradited him back to Maryland. And as I said, he was 17 at the time of the crime and was a junior at Pasadena's Chesapeake High. I voted yesterday. Yes, the mailed ballots are out, and as I always say, please research your candidates and make the best choice for you. But I do want to warn you to make sure that you understand the questions on the ballot. There are 5 state questions and 8 county questions. And on state question number 4, this is the legalization of recreational use of marijuana question. The question asks if you favor the legalization, yet the provided answers ask if you are for or against a constitutional amendment. You want to make sure you read that very carefully. If you are for legalization, you want to select that you are for a constitutional amendment. Now, sliding over to the county questions. The county council has snuck in a question here that is highly suspect on wording. Question B looks to modify the county charter to ensure, and I quote, that no county council member may serve more than 3 full consecutive 4-year terms. Seems like they're looking for term limits, right? Well, they are already term limited to 2 terms. This is the county council looking to allow themselves to serve an additional term. And also, I've got to say the words of full consecutive terms seems like it might be providing a little bit of a loophole in case needed. Please just know what and who you are voting for. And while Maryland is looking at legalized weed, President Biden yesterday said he will pardon thousands of Americans convicted on federal simple possession of marijuana charges. These pardons will also include D.C. The president encouraged states to follow suit. And if I was a betting man, I'd say we would see nationwide legalization within the next 4 to 5 years. Yesterday, we talked about workforce housing in Annapolis, and just this morning, I got a study from Doxo Insights about the cost to live in Annapolis. Average monthly bills for Annapolis households total $2,668 per month, which is 33.2% higher than the national average and 9% higher than the statewide average. Now, this number comprises rent or mortgage, auto loan and auto insurance, utilities, health insurance, life insurance, cable, mobile phones, and alarms and security. It does not include any savings or any groceries or entertainment or anything like that. This represents 31% of household income here. And if I back that math out, that means that the average person would need to earn $103,200 to make that number. The only other area community higher than Annapolis in the county was Arnold at $2,766. Unlike last weekend, which was a washout, this weekend looks to be spectacular. Of course, you have the Power Boat Show running through Sunday. Tickets at AnnapolisBoatShows.com. Navy does take on Tulsa at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. Tickets at NavySports.com. And you want to be sure to follow us on Twitter and at EyeOnAnnapolis.net for our live blog and coverage of that game. Tonight is the Pop-Up Filipino Fest at MC3, and tomorrow, also at MC3, is the Barktoberfest, which is Oktoberfest for your well-behaved dogs. Both of those events can be found at eventbrite.com. And on Sunday, the ASO, or the Annapolis Symphony Orchestra, is presenting a free concert at 5 p.m. at Downs Park in Pasadena, featuring their brass quintet. A good bit going on for sure, and remember that Monday is Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Days, and it is a federal holiday, so all federal offices will be closed as well as the post office, banks, and stock markets. Metro will be on a Saturday schedule. The MTA commuter bus will not run. In Maryland, all state agencies will be closed, including the MBA and the VEIP stations. However, the VEIP self-serve kiosks will be open. Anne Arundel County and Annapolis City do not recognize the holiday, so all county and city services should be operating as normal. Also, Anne Arundel County Public Schools will also be open. Whew. And that's it for the news and events. But here's some podcast news for you. Tomorrow on the Local Business Spotlight, Commacell Brown, and I am excited to have you hear this one. Later today, I'm going to be talking with members of the 60s Show, which looks to be a fantastic multimedia experience. I don't even want to call it a show. At Maryland Hall on the 19th. You can get tickets at ramsheadonstage.com or at marylandhall.org. Fans of the 60s music, you definitely want to check this one out. Of course, we thank you for listening and putting up with us every single day, and I appreciate your spreading the word about the Daily News Brief. We also thank our sponsors for today's Daily News Brief: Solar Energy Services, Scout and Molly's, and the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long End Foster Company. It's Friday, and the weekend is here, so now it's just time to say have a great weekend. Be nice to others, do something fun inside or out, and keep shopping local. Other than that, we're going to see you on Monday. Now hang tight, George Young from DCMDVA Weather is here with your locally forecast weather report. All that in just a bit.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, October 7th. Yesterday should get voted Weather Day of the Year for the Annapolis region, not only because it was just really nice out with tons of sun and temps in the 70s across the region, but also because it was an amazing bounce-back day after 6 straight days of clouds and some off-and-on rain falling from the sky each day, with just under 4 inches of total rain being recorded at BWI Airport over the 6-day period, while just over 2 inches of rain was recorded at Reagan National in D.C., with most places around the region seeing amounts somewhere in between those two totals, while heavier amounts in the 4 to 6+ inch range fell over the lower eastern shore of Maryland and over to the coast toward Ocean City. But the clouds and rain are gone, and we'll have a virtual repeat today of yesterday's weather, with temps possibly getting to the 80+ degree mark today in a few spots, with slightly breezy winds in place today, as well as a cold front that approaches from the west, and that front will deliver much cooler air this weekend with PM highs in the low to mid-60s with AM lows Saturday and Sunday in the 40s ahead of more sunshine Monday through at least next Wednesday of next week with temps each day in the 65 to 72 degree range ahead of the next front that may bring some rain here again Thursday before high pressure once again returns and skies clear next Friday through Sunday. Okay, that's it for today and this week. This is George Young of DCMDVA Weather. Make it a great day and weekend out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, along with our website at dcmdvaweather.info. And definitely be sure to download our DCMDVA Weather app on all of your devices from either the Apple or Google app stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt.
One of the biggest questions I'm getting asked right now, what is going on with the housing market? Well, when the interest rates jumped up 2 percentage points, mortgage payments went up 20% for the same home. This is starting to have an effect on the number of buyers we are seeing, with 10% fewer home sales than last spring. However, our inventory is 25% lower than the same time last year. What does all this mean? There are more home buyers than homes on the market, so prices are still increasing. Now more than ever, it's time to work with someone who can guide you with solid, proven advice. Wisdom, proactiveness, and intense marketing make a huge difference. Please give us a call today and let us help you navigate these waters. We promise to educate and guide you with your best interest at heart.
That's another moving moment with Kristi Neidhardt of Northrop Realty, a Long & Foster company. To get in touch, call 410-599-1370 or visit kn-team.com.
Ready for a new look for those end-of-summer parties? Come see us at Scout & Molly's. I'm Betsy Abraham. My mom and I own and operate this great little boutique at the Annapolis Town Center. After spending the last 2 years shopping online, come enjoy a fun, in-person shopping experience with a bonus, real customer service. We'd love to help you pick out the perfect outfit for back-to-school Annapolis boat shows and nights out with your friends. Scout & Molly's, Annapolis Town Center. Thanks for shopping local.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.